Daytona DMAX is here at Clay Pigeon for round 8. We've just had qualifying for Inter Enduro, and on pole position is Chris Alcock. Chris, nearly 2 tenths clear. Are you surprised to hear that?
In a word, yes. With the level of competition we've got here today, I mean, Bobby's always up there. Mike, Jordan, Tor, there's so many good drivers in the field. To be almost 2 tenths clear is, I couldn't have asked for more. I almost don't believe it. I need to pinch myself.
And a very tough circuit. You've had a chance, I imagine, to watch some of the other Enduro races we've had earlier this morning. Got a plan for the start?
Hopefully, me and a couple of others can just get a nice clean breakaway, get our heads down, maybe a bit of bump drafting, pull clear, and then we can fight it out towards the end. I'm hoping for a podium. Hopefully it'll be on the top step, but we'll see what the others have in store for me once the green flag goes.
Well, best of luck, Chris. Thanks for speaking to us.
So just over a tenth and a half a second between yourself and Chris. Did you feel that there was potentially more in the kart to come?
There was a lot more in the kart, yeah. Just all the yellows that kept out. Every time I started to get a rhythm, yellows either call out the tyres, or when I have a chance, I get either held up or make a teeny mistake trying to get the absolute 100%. But Chris did a cracking lap, obviously, and hopefully it don't transform into his race pace.
and you've not been feeling 100%. You've been feeling a bit under the weather as well the last couple of weeks in the lead up to this round. Can you just tell us a little bit about it?
So I got tonsillitis last week, and I've just got off the pills, antibiotics, so I'm just coughing around still. Still got a teeny bit of it, but I'm all right. It's not affecting my pace, isn't it? Really, to be fair, today I was thinking going for points, but considering the pace, I managed to qualify second. See what's going to happen. Hopefully I don't fall off during the Enduro.
All the very best of luck. So Bobby Trundley on the front row alongside Chris Alcock, our pole setter. But I've got the man in third who actually finished 9th last time at Sandown. You had a really good battle with Seb Cook, Joe. Not that far off of the pace, and you said just before we were talking that you like it round here at Clay Pigeon.
Yeah, I really like it. I think the last 2 years, I think I've won. So hopefully I can do something similar again.
So are you going to do what we've seen in a lot of Enduros where people have bided their time, waited for the moment to strike, and if you can keep in touching distance with both Chris and Bobby, you've got a shot either at a top 2, maybe even top step?
Yeah, I think it's just a case of not letting them create the gap and just hanging on till the end, yeah.
Well, all the very best of luck. So Joe Ellis, our third place starter, and Chris, I think you've got someone there as well.
Yes, just a little bit further down the top 10. Nuno Costa, first time here. That's a very good start, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think I have a good kart. I was feeling quite good, and I'm still trying to learn. So I think at the end the result was really, really good. I was expecting to be probably middle of the table if I was lucky. So I think it was really good.
And are you glad DMAX is back at this circuit? Of course, this year DMAX has gone to a lot of new tracks. It's also brought in some tracks it used to go to. Of course, we didn't come here last year, but are you glad it's back here as the championship?
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially for someone like me who I only do the DMAX races and sometimes I go to some open races and that's pretty much it throughout the year. The fact it's a new track or a different track where people cannot train and practice on DMAX, it gives me a little bit of an edge. Next year I'll try to practice a little bit more and come a little bit stronger.
Well, thanks for speaking to us. Good luck for the race, starting in the middle of the top 10. Alex, you've got the results in front of you there. Chris Alcock with a bit of an advantage. Unfortunately, no one able to improve towards the end there with that full course yellow. But it's going to be an interesting race. We've got some quick drivers down the field and some new faces towards the front as well. What are you expecting?
Mike Copping, down in 11th. We've seen him charge through the field before. I'm not expecting anything less, as long as he has a good run. Tor Ryan, 4th place, winner, outright winner and pole setter at Shennington. He's in the hunt for the title. Considering what happened last time at Sandown, if he has no issues, I think he'll be one to watch as well. Alan Curtis, down the order a little bit further. Alan hasn't had the run of luck. He won at Buckmore Park. Last couple of races, he's qualified down sort of mid-pack. So it's difficult to see whether he's going to struggle or whether he's going to be able to move forward in this race.
I think that's enough from us then. Let's wait no longer. Let's get into the race.
So final Enduro of the day. It's round 8 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX. It's the Inter Enduros this time. Grid is as follows. Chris Alcock with a dominant pole position. Ahead of him, ahead of Bobby Trundley, the current championship leader. Row 2 is Joe Ellis and Tor Ryan. Richard Lacey and Nuno Costa on row 3, ahead of Chris Hackworth, Anthony Kirk, Jordan Taylor and Sean Briley, who actually celebrated his birthday yesterday, rounding out the top 10, ahead of Mike Copping. Another difficult qualifying for Mike, but he's had worse qualifying positions this season, ahead of Philip Senior. David Stephen in 13th, ahead of Alan Curtis in the mid-pack again, ahead of Xander Mahoney, with Daniel Russell, Chris Kirk, Seb Cook, Andrew Ford, Renault Sport Racing's Andy Stobart, Stuart Shearman, James Browning, Lee Kerry, James Wattis, Nigel Foote. Now, Chris, I am sensing that there is a lot more darker clouds around us here at Clay Pigeon.
Yes, looks like it, but I think we're going to get away with it, maybe. Let's see. On the front row, as you said, is Alcock and Trundley. Let's hope to get away cleanly first time. Alcock is to the left of screen, Trundley to the right. Do we get away cleanly? It's a nice and steady start. Well behaved are the Enduro drivers. We're off for hours racing. Chris Alcock leads them down towards turn number 2, and he's going to lead them. Bobby Trundley attempting to go around the outside. That would be brave into the chicane, but sensibly slots into second place. Trundley might try the outside down at turn 4. And it was third place, I think, is Joe Ellis there in the blue race suit. Tor Ryan is in 4th place. They're 3 across coming up towards turn number 5. Then it's Nuno Costa on his first visit to the circuit in 5th. Jordan Taylor is 6th. Chris Hackworth is in 7th place as they head up towards the last corner to complete the first lap, Alex.
And coming out of that turn 3 chicane, I saw both Xander Mahoney and Alan Curtis nearly going 4 abreast as it's line astern coming down the start-finish straight. So we've seen 4 wide already, and
a spin. Sorry, a spin there, and going to get...
Oh, and Seb Cook's off into the tyre barriers.
I think it was maybe Daniel Russell who spun. There was some contact. It was either Daniel Russell or Anthony Kirk that was spun round. I didn't quite catch their number. I don't know if you did, but, well, there was nowhere Seb Cook could go. He only did that to avoid clattering into the driver who had spun, and he's come off the worst. Jordan Taylor up the inside, down at turn 4. Jordan Taylor then taking 5th place away from Nuno Costa, and it could get worse. Chris Hackworth queuing up on the inside. Nuno Costa to the outside. Will they both get through safely? Just about. Nuno Costa, damage limitation there, holding off Chris Hackworth, and Richard Lacey closes in 8th place on the pair of them in that distinctive red racing suit. And Richard Lacey past Chris Hackworth as they go through turn 1. That's going to be a change for 7th place. Good driving that from Richard Lacey. That was almost a challenge as they approach the chicane, out the chicane, down towards turn 4. If Chris Alcock does not defend, he may find Trundley coming up the inside. Trundley looking very good on the brakes going down to there. Chris Alcock running wide. They're now side by side, and Trundley's going to try and move around the outside at turn 5 and gets through. Brilliant driving that from last year's champion Bobby Trundley, through trying to make it 2 championships in a row, and it's moves like that why he is in a good position to do that.
Look at who's at the back of this battling
Tor Ryan.
Tor Ryan's got the hammer down. Jordan Taylor.
Here comes Joe Ellis. Sorry, Joe Ellis almost trying to move for 2nd place there. So your top 4 coming through the chicane now. Trundley, Alcock, Ellis, Ryan in that order. And in the championship, Trundley leading. Ryan, here comes Ryan. 4th, going to move for 3rd place. Brilliant move that. Very good on the brakes there, Tor Ryan. He's 2nd in the championship. He can see Trundley's got the lead. He's thinking, got to get after him as quickly as possible, Alex.
Now, meanwhile, looks like Richard Lacey's thinking getting a bit racy against Nuno Costa there for 6th out on track, whilst Jordan Taylor was trying to make some headway. Chris Hackworth is still keeping them in touch.
We've had a change behind, haven't we? Sean Briley has gone past David Stephen, the number 59, into the top 10.
And Richard Lacey's just gone up the inside of Nuno Costa.
Good
going
spot.
around the start-finish straight, but they're side by side, pod to pod, across the stripe they come. And Richard Lacey sweeps in ahead with Hackworth right on the back bumper of Costa.
Hackworth.
That could have been very close if he'd got a bit squirrely there going into turn 2.
Quickest on
Chris
track.
Hackworth has just gone up the inside of Nuno Costa going into turn 4 there, and Costa is fighting back. The pair are side by side into turn 5. Hackworth has got cleanly ahead, which gives him the inside run into turn 6, but Costa could effect a switchback, doesn't have the legs. And
but here we go, change for lead. Chris Alcock fighting back on Bobby Trundley, retakes the lead. 12 laps in, Tor Ryan in 3rd place, new fastest lap.
Well, I think Chris Alcock just signalled to Bobby Trundley, let's move
Let's go,
forward,
let's work
let's go,
together.
let's put the hammer down and eke out a gap. But Tor Ryan is not going to let them out of his sight.
But shouldn't it work the other way round? Bobby Trundley is the championship leader.
Yep.
You tried telling him, you follow me. No, I don't think so. I do lead this championship for a reason. So good luck, Chris Alcock, if you're going to try and persuade Bobby
And
Trundley.
Chris
to
Hackworth
do
goes
that.
up the inside of Jordan Taylor. That is for 6th place into turn 2. Nice move.
First time we've seen a really good move into that second corner.
Oh, Jordan Taylor's got past Chris Hackworth, by
He
the
has,
way.
and now he's defending. Chris Hackworth might fight back into turn number 3, into the chicane. Oh, and Jordan Taylor sideways has to go across the grass, and Chris Hackworth takes the place, but Jordan Taylor showing his frustration there. Where to look? Where to look?
Well, I'm keeping an eye because Briley's got a better exit coming out of turn 3 chicane, heading down towards turn 4.
There we go.
Throws it up the inside and is side by side with Chris Hackworth. Makes the move stick coming out of turn 4. Brilliant move by
Perfect.
Sean Briley there.
Perfect.
And
covers it off on the left-hander as well. Perfect drive.
and-
And there comes the move at the last corner. Richard Lacey up the inside of Joe Ellis, and they're going to be side by side coming down the start-finish straight. That a brilliant move from Richard Lacey. He'll allow Joe Ellis to go to the outside at turn 2, and Joe Ellis gets to switch back. Slight mistake from Richard Lacey. Joe Ellis is back through. Richard Lacey has to do it all again. Will it all happen down at turn 4?
And there we go. Lacey is going up the inside into turn 4, past Joe Ellis. Nice clean moves between these two. Clean, hard, but fair racing. We have a full course yellow, Chris.
Yep, for the first time in the race. Full course yellow. Flags being prepared. That's it. We're off. So,
Yep, green flag waves, and away we go once again. And Chris Kirk rejoins coming out of pit lane.
our race leaders at the last corner. Here they come down the start-finish straight. Who have they got ahead of them? They've got the number 17, which is Phillips Senior. And already a spin. That was
Chris Kirk again.
Chris Kirk spun. Well, cold tyres. Can't quite. Oh, and Chris Alcock being blocked here as they go down towards turn 4, being delayed there. Don't think Phillips Senior really realised he was there. And Bobby Trundley is now to the outside as they head through turn 5. Up towards turn number 6, Bobby Trundley could get the run into the last corner here, Alex, as they make their way towards end now. Looks like Chris Alcock will be safe. Did take an ever so slightly defensive line. That's given Bobby Trundley a good run down the straight. Yellow flags out there. Oh, and Joe Ellis running wide there.
And Hackworth has got past in the
Hackworth's gone
process.
past, hasn't he?
And Alan Curtis is trying to size him up for a move. Nearly went round the outside into turn 6. The pair come through the final turn.
Has Sean Briley gone past as well? He has. Here they come across the line. Alan Curtis now sizing up Joe Ellis. It's all going wrong for him. And there goes Alan Curtis.
Oh, and there's a spinner.
spin. Is that Sean Briley? No.
No, that is not.
It's a back marker. Tell you what,
But
Alex,
Seb Cook lets him pass.
that would have been a hard moment there for Mike Coppin,
Or-
because that would have been painful because he's just been lapped and we're only halfway through this race. Mike Coppin not at his best today. Don't know what's going on for him, but there is definitely a problem for Mike Coppin today.
Heading towards
Oh,
turn
here we
22.
go. Sorry, out the chicane, Bobby Trundley. This the closest he's been for a number of laps. He looks to the outside of Chris Alcock. This for the race lead. 31 minutes into this race, Chris Alcock having to defend going in towards turn 5. Makes a mistake. Bobby Trundley's going to get alongside. They'll be side by side for turn 6. Bobby Trundley will have to tuck in for the time being out of turn 7. Down the start finish straight to complete lap number 47. We're going to do it all over again. Let's stay with them for another lap. This the closest they have been. Maybe we might be able to get a view from Tor Ryan's camera. Hanging on board is Tor Ryan today as they head through the chicane. Tor Ryan only 6.5 tenths back from this battle, but for now it seems to have settled down, although they are catching some traffic.
Now this battle for 4th is going to start to heat up right now. Richard Lacey.
Well, look
ahead
at
of-
this. Look, Tor Ryan being seriously delayed. Look, no one letting him through. Zana Mahoney now lets him through.
Well, it was nearly four abreast coming down the start-finish straight when Tor Ryan was trying to make his way past.
Yeah, well, that was it. You know, David Stephen actually drove very well to get through there. Don't say that I sound very surprised, but considering there were drivers trying to lap them, Zana Mahoney and and Andy Kirk were focusing on other things. He just took both places, and now he'll let Tor Ryan go back through. Tor Ryan, that's cost him over 1 second.
Meanwhile, this battle for fourth is heating up, and it's going to be that the volume.
Here we go at the chicane.
Here we go.
Lacey leading them into it.
So Richard Lacey ahead of Sean Briley and Chris Hackworth. This is for fourth out on track. They go down towards turn 4. It's literally nose to tail, probably half a kart length. And Sean Briley was thinking up the move at the inside, going into turn 4. He was close to maybe doing the switch back into turn 5. Didn't make it stick. Hackworth right on his back bumper, heading into turn 6. Turn 7, round the final couple of corners they come. So still Lacey is holding off the advances of both Sean Briley and Chris Hackworth as they cross the start-finish line into turn 1, into turn 2, where we've actually seen one of the best overtakes all day from Chris Hackworth earlier on in this race. They come through the chicane, now down on the back straight approach towards turn 4. And Chris Hackworth throws it up the inside of Sean Briley into turn 4, makes the move stick. Very clean, precise overtaking there, and cuts it off before turn 5. So that's Chris Hackworth now up into 5th place.
Dana Mahoney, look at this battle at top 5, at turn 5. Still going on between David Stevens, Dana Mahoney and Andy Kirk. They've been battling. Here they go. They've had the leaders come by, all of them. Here they come down the start-finish straight. This is a battle for 10th place. Down towards turn 1. And is it going to stop, this battle? I think is the question. We've put the flag out and they'll probably just still keep battling.
Well, you might have to black flag them all to get them back into the pit lane.
Well, Zander Mahoney's now going down the outside. That was a famous line in a song, wasn't it, at one point? Up towards turn 5, Zander Mahoney now having to hold off Anthony Kirk, and does so that's going to be pressure off David Stephen for the time being.
So let's go on board with Chris Hackworth.
Yellow flags out. I think, and some overtaking there at turn 2. I thought I saw some yellow flags out. But Andy Kirk's made 2 places.
So Lacey tries to get past Mike Copping. So Copping lets him through into turn 2. Oh, and that was very close between Copping and Hackworth. So Hackworth is trying to go up the inside.
He's going to try on the chicane, and fair play to Mike Copping. Let him go through. That should not be a place you can really do a move like that. But he and Nuno Costa have let everyone back through, and now they've just got back in the same place where they were, and it's like, right, let's just resume this race. Now we've let those leaders go through.
In the meantime,
sorry Alex, here comes a challenge for the lead, and contact. Well, Bobby Trundley trying to go up the inside there at turn 2 of Chris Alcock, and just made a little bit of contact, no damage done. In fact, it's actually giving Chris Alcock a bit more of a lead.
Hackworth's right on the back bumper of Lacey, going down into turn 4, sends it up the inside. Brilliant move there for 4th place.
Wow, yeah, caught me out. I must say, got an extremely good run going down the straight towards turn 4, and well.
But Lacey's fighting back. He's taking the place back, coming round the final turn as well. So great battling. The pair of pod to pod, side by side. And it's Hackworth ahead by a whisker. But Lacey's going to try and force the issue going into turn 2. Hackworth's got the inside line. And switch back from Lacey.
Yeah, completely.
Switch back from Lacey through the outbraking. So nice work by Lacey to get back on track ahead of Hackworth.
They've already passed each other once. And they're side by side once again. Lacey to the inside at turn 5. Hackworth slotting in behind as they now head up towards the last corner. As through the last corner they go. Thought I saw a change to the lead there, but wasn't a change. They're still as you were for the lead. Through turn 1 comes this battle for 4th. Hackworth, I think, strongest down at turn 4. He looks good on this lap. May get the run this time. Here we go. Out the chicane, down towards turn 4. Is it close enough? No, he's not. The last corner's a place I haven't seen him try the move on Lacey just yet. So maybe that's what we're going to see as they head up through turn 6. Oh, and a door opens there. Richard Lacey being delayed by a back marker. And Chris Hackworth says, thank you very much. That's the easiest overtake he's ever going to make. Into 4th place now for Chris Hackworth, the number 15. Surely Richard Lacey's going to fight back.
And now is this a battle for the lead emerging coming into turn 5? Yes, it is. Chris Alcock is being hounded, quite literally, by Bobby Trundley. The pair are side by side going into turn 6 through the final couple of corners. Now, will Bobby Trundley have the inside line?
No.
No, he doesn't. So Chris Alcock had the power out at the right time coming out of that final corner.
Back at turn 5, Richard Lacey is back through to 4th place. So we got that place back at turn 4. Through turn 6 he goes. He's back through and right with them now. Sean Briley has a challenge for the lead of the chicane from Bobby Trundley, and he gets through. So Bobby Trundley in the chicane gets through. Chris Alcock showing just a tiny bit of frustration there. Well, that's not a place I'd expect to see a lead change with less than 10 minutes to go. Expect a fight back from Chris Alcock as they make their way through turn 6. Richard Lacey, as we said, is back through to 4th place down at turn 4 with Hackworth and Briley queuing up. Alan Curtis is not too far behind either, but here are the two leaders coming through turn 1. Chris Alcock surely going to fight back coming out of turn 2. Bobby Trundley defends. Chris Alcock's going to repay the favour. Up the inside into the chicane, Alex, and he's back through.
Wow, and look at this battle heating up for 4th.
Well, look, they're queuing up.
They are queuing up. Andy Stobart is the back marker ahead.
Chris Alcock defending at turn 4 for the race lead. I think we should concentrate on that one as they head up towards turn 5. Alcock still defending from Trundley. Trundley now to the outside at turn 6. Looks over his shoulder to see where Tor Ryan is. Going away for his championship. Second place wouldn't be too bad, Alex.
But look at this, nearly side by side between Sean Briley and Chris Hackworth on the approach to turn 5. So it's nose to tail. He's pressurising Hackworth as much as he dare going into turn 6. Through the final couple of corners they come. So it's still Lacey leading this three-way scrap for 4th place. There, Lacey is fighting
leaders
back.
side by side. Bobby Trundley retakes the lead, coming down the start-finish straight. That was a bit strange there. Just looked like there was a mistake from Chris Alcock out the last corner. So it's game on once again.
Yellow flags. Mike Copping has just spun on turn 4.
Oh, but here comes Chris Alcock. He's going to retake the lead once again into the chicane. Chris Alcock, for the second time, takes the lead going into the chicane. Bobby Trundley now looking to the outside. Tor Ryan only 1.2 seconds behind. Bobby Trundley to the outside going into turn 5. Chris Alcock up the inside. Tor Ryan's getting closer once again. Bobby Trundley on the grass, trying to go up the inside at turn 6. The top 3 drivers, Alex, are nose to tail as they come out the last corner. We only have 5 minutes to go.
And Tor Ryan's really got the slipstream effect, and he's thinking of a move on Bobby Trundley for second place.
Down towards turn number 2, and Tor Ryan gets through. Tor Ryan through. Now he's trying to say to Bobby Trundley, let's get after Chris Alcock. So I'm not too sure if he's trying to let him back through, actually. I think he is. So that would suggest there was perhaps a little bit of contact in that move down at turn 2. So Tor Ryan, in letting Bobby Trundley through, should prevent himself from getting a penalty. But look what that's done for Chris Alcock. That's given him the break he's needed. Is that enough of a lead for Chris Alcock to go and take the win? That said, he has got some back markers just ahead of him down the start finish straight. 9/10 is his advantage. Chris Alcock, and Bobby Trundley runs wide under brakes, and Tor Ryan takes second. Tor Ryan into second place, first and second in the championship, side by side, and they make contact going down towards turn 4. In towards turn 4 they go, and I think, Alex, Chris Alcock's going to win this one, but interesting battle for second, isn't it?
It is indeed, and Chris Alcock is now trying to put the hammer down and get some distance between himself, the battling pair of Tor Ryan and Bobby Trundley.
Look at the battle for second, though. Down towards turn 4, Bobby Trundley right behind Tor Ryan. I think we should keep all attention on this because Bobby Trundley is back through. So Bobby Trundley back through.
Yeah.
As they head up towards turn 6, and Tor Ryan now back.
Now this is cat and mouse and Bobby Trundley retakes the place on the final corner, coming down the start-finish straight. So he's trying to say to Tor Ryan, let's try and see if we can make headway, but they haven't got long left because Alcock is running away with us at the moment with the pair over second battling.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds is the gap, and there's only 2.5 minutes left to go. The gap's come down to 9/10 of a second.
I think it's
and
less.
Chris Alcock's made a mistake there at turn 5, and Bobby Trundley is getting even closer. May we see a challenge for the lead on the last lap. Chris Alcock is starting to feel the pressure as they come up towards the line. What's the gap as they come across the line? 0.5, so it's almost halved as they make their way through turns 1, 2, and now through the turn 3 chicane for the last time. Chris Alcock, mate, all you got to do is stay on the road and you'll win this one. Bobby Trundley, though, making it as difficult as he can for Chris Alcock. Up towards turn 5 for the last time, and I think he's done it out of turn 5 through turn 6. Chris Alcock is going to take the victory, Alex. I'll let you call him home.
So round the final turn he comes. He was looking for a win here in the Enduros at Clay Pigeon, and here he comes. It's Chris Alcock leading, takes the checkered flag, winning round 8 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Inter Enduro Championship ahead of Bobby Trundley. A great battle between the two, great mutual respect as they slow down towards turn 3. Tor Ryan finishing and rounding out the podium in 3rd. This battle for 4th that we were keeping an eye on in the latter stages, it ended up that Sean Brierley lost out to Alan Curtis, so it was Richard Lacey in 4th ahead of Chris Hackworth. The pair were trading places over the last couple of laps. Alan Curtis finished 6th ahead of Sean Brierley. Joe Ellis finished in 8th in the end. Jordan Taylor finished exactly where he qualified, having suffered issues during the race, in 9th ahead of David Stephen, who completed the top 10, which finished the battle between himself, Zander Mahoney and Anthony Kirk, who rounded out the top 12. Mike Coppin resurged back through the field into 13th ahead of Daniel Russell. Nuno Costa finished down, completing the top 15 ahead of Renault Sport Racing's Andy Stobart, with Philip Senior, Andrew Ford, Seb Cook, Stuart Shearman, James Wattis, James Browning, Lee Carey, Nigel Foote and Chris Kirk rounding out the order for round 8 of the 2017 Inter Enduro Championship. Great battling between Chris Alcock and Bobby Trundley.
Okay, Tor Ryan, 3rd place in that one. Almost had a 3-way battle for the lead towards the end there. In the end, you and Bobby traded places a few times. Happy with 3rd?
Yeah, gutted it's not 2nd really. Could have done with getting some points on Bobby, but nonetheless, happy with being on the podium. Yeah, a bit of contact toward the end. I mean, I got loaded a few times by him into the chicane, and I sort of returned the favour, a bit naughty, but is what it is. And then he went quite wide on the last contact, and so I thought, I'll tell you what, saved me getting a black flag. I'm happy with 3rd. We'll stick with that. So let him back through, and yeah, I let him back through a bit too much, and I couldn't catch him again after that. Even though we had 5 minutes left on the clock, he just stayed at the same gap, and yeah, still happy with 3rd. It's good.
Well, good stuff. Still in the hunt for it, still 2nd. So we'll go to the driver who finished 2nd and who is 1st in the championship. Bobby Trundley. Bobby, we all thought that lead battle was going to kick off towards the end. Unfortunately, as Tor touched on there, that didn't quite happen. But 2nd place, we'll still be happy with that?
I am happy with it, yeah. Like I said, I thought I was going to go for points with my own throw at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, I can understand Tor trying to go for a gap and see where he could find a spot, but it wasn't very pleasant, let's say. But, you know, it's racing. But cracking race between Chris as always. I don't want him to go in the Enduro now, because he's just going to be too quick now. Nah, joking.
Sorry, Bobby.
But every time I managed to get him, he just out-dragged me. I just couldn't get the top end. But anyway, the race is racing. It's points at the end of the day, and this geezer, I'm not letting him win the heats. Simple.
Chris, come on to the top step, where you were a few seconds ago. That must feel good. 2nd race in the Enduro and a win. Pole position win, perfect day, 4 points. You love Clay Pigeon now?
I really do like Clay Pigeon. I said at the interview last time out in the Heats final, came 3rd at Sandown. I said, when you asked a question about Clay, I said, no, I'm all right at Clay. And I think the proof is in the pudding. I've done all right. I really enjoyed that race with Bobby, actually. The last 5 minutes were a little bit hairy. I saw Tor was close enough to be a bit of a pain to us, so I sort of backed off a little bit, backed Bobby back into him, trying to give myself a bit of a break. It worked. I didn't see what happened behind, but I mean, all I'm really concerned about is me and my race, and I think I've done as good as I could have done today. Roll on the heats.
And you guys loved the overtaking into the chicane there. I thought that'd be the hardest place to do a move, but you guys were all over it.
We gave racing room to one another, and every year, I just said to Bobby before the podium, every year we come here, we always go side by side around that chicane at least once or twice. We did it in the heats in 2015. We've done it again twice today. what's going to happen this afternoon? Who knows?
Well done, Chris. Good to see you get a win in the Enduros on your second attempt of the season. We'll now go to Alex. Alex got a couple of drivers who just missed out on the podium.
Well, actually, these were two of the drivers that were involved in a very titanic scrap for fourth, which was eventually won by the man here in the Panasonic Toyota T-shirt, Richard Lacey. But I want to speak to Sean Briley, because Sean, you qualified 10th, but I think you said to me just before we're talking now that Richard probably couldn't see you behind him because he was so busy with Chris Hackworth battling him.
No, he's just told me that he had no idea that anyone was behind him from about the middle part of the race, and I said as I sat about 1.5 seconds behind for the entire time, just completely out of his view.
And must have been nice having a top 10 qualifying, but then also to be, literally that far away from what could have been either 5th, 6th, or even 4th, with the way things were working out as the second half of the race progressed.
Yeah, well, I do more sprint racing than endurance racing, which means that at the start I was able to clear people and I was able to get past people. I made moves on Hackworth and Joe Ellis and the others, and then got during the race, I had no idea that Hackworth was behind me. I thought I'd dropped him, completely left him. So when he dive bombed me down into the hairpin, and to separate me and Richard here, it came as a bit of a shock. And then they started working together a little bit and pulling away before they started battling. And then Alan Curtis came out of nowhere and just killed me down the straights. But it was a good fun race, and I had great fun trying to chase him down for the whole time.
Are we going to see you for any more DMAX rounds this year?
Maybe. I'm doing the sprints this afternoon, but I did the one at Buckmore, and I'm doing this one. I think that's about it for the season. Maybe more next season.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. Richard, if you'd like to come over. So you must have been thinking, who's going to come at me next? Is it going to be Hackworth? Is it going to be Briley? Is it going to be Curtis? I mean, you must have had your blinkers on for the last half of the race.
To be honest, I just wasn't trying to avoid looking behind. I knew Chris was behind me, and I thought that's scary enough as it is, so I thought just try and keep him behind and see what happens. And Sean came out of nowhere, straight down the inside, and I thought, we're in a bit of a battle here, so we've had to really push our way through. Really, really enjoyable race, great fun. The guys had a really clean scrap, lots of overtakes, lots of dodgy moves, and really enjoyed it. So looking forward to this afternoon now.
Okay, well done, Richard.
It's been very close here at Clay Pigeon for round 8. We've still got 2 more rounds to go there if you want to get involved. Next month we're going to be at Daytona Tamworth, and then the following month we're going to be at Daytona Milton Keynes for the finale, which is always a good one to be at. So if you want to get involved with either the Enduros or the Heats, we've got 3 different weight categories, lights, inters, heavies, and we've got the super heavies included with the heavy drivers as well. So we cater for all shapes and sizes. So if you do want to get involved, visit our website or call this number.